Uh, Here we are. This is our first live version of the show. We've got 10 episodes that have come out in the month of August. Over the 30 days, we released 6 off the top. Then over the course of the next 4 weeks, we released, was it 4 more or 3 more? 3 more episodes, right? 6? No, 4 more. So 6 and 10.
6 and 4 is 10.
Yeah.
That's why you're a guitar player.
And then we said we would take a break and do this live. So here we are.
We'll introduce ourselves, right? And so the reason why we got together, we met in radio college way back when, in the early 90s. And it was a friendship forged through music. I came with my own ideas around music, and Jerry came with his own ideas of music. And we've stayed friends since 1991, I guess it was.
I'm trying to figure it out, man. I was thinking
91.
Was I 21? Yeah, I was thinking 90, or was it 92 or 93?
I turned 21 in college because I remember eating the worm out of the tequila bottle. That was
91.
My first birthday. Yeah,
So
I've never done it since, but yes, that was 92. So it was 91, 92. So we met in 91. And we spent a lot of time in Jerry's dad's truck, which was a Dodge Dakota, smoking things, listening to Guns N' Roses. And I had, at that time, oddly enough, I hadn't been exposed too much to Guns N' Roses. And it was a weird thing. So it was it wasn't I missed Appetite, but I was more in tune to Metallica. And then so it was literally going to KFC, buying popcorn chicken with gravy on the side, smoking a thing, listening to Appetite for Destruction.
I came out of high school a die-hard Guns N' Roses fan, right? Because of the Drunk Fucks and our Outcast group that I ended up introducing you to. I know. Because I was in the band still with the guys from high school years. And then we started hanging out. And then, speaking of which, man, talking about throwbacks, I don't know if you recognize this, Dave.
Yeah, I do.
But when you did your internship at a radio school, and I was thinking it was 93, but maybe it's 92.
No, it was 93. It was 2 years.
Okay. Wait, Dave did his internship out of Humber Radio at WNEW in New York City, man, one of the biggest rock and roll radio stations in the world, man, arguably. And he asked me, man, when he was going to do his internship in New York, is there anything you want brought back from New York? And I didn't even hesitate. The club was still open in the Bowery, and I was like, dude, head to the Bowery. And I knew my understanding was it was a sketchy neighborhood. How sketchy was it, man? What was your adventure to go get there?
It was sketchy. I was adventurous when I was in Manhattan because I did my radio internship there, and what I did was I loved rock and roll so much that, and I didn't have legal right to work in the United States, but this is all pre 9/11. But I told the radio station I will volunteer 40 hours a week. Normally it was an 8-hour-a-week volunteer situation. I said, I'll volunteer 40 hours a week. Just give me tickets to anything you got. And so I was adventurous for a lot of them other than CBGB's. I chickened out. I didn't spend a night at CBGB's. I went during the day. And it was really shitty. I should have gone, and I don't know why I didn't go. And I was just a chicken shit.
I remember being in the band and you coming back with feedback that they had open mic nights or whatever, the equivalent of, just show up.
Yeah, well, the problem was I went down there and I wandered around Alphabet City, and it was really sketchy. I wound up, I'm a short guy. I'm 5'7", and so by myself with sketchy looking fellas eyeing me up, going, "That's a nice leather jacket." And anyway,
so with New York, no, you put me in the place, man. Was New York cleaned up by then by Giuliani? Was that pre-Giuliani?
No.
After, what?
No, he was cleaning it up. It was in the process
of... Was Times Square still sketchy when you went to New York?
Times Square was the best then. It was totally sketchy. I loved it. Yeah, it was awesome. It was the peep shows and it was not Disneyland.
It wasn't Disney-fied, yes.
It was great fun. It was like, it was the shell games that were happening to rip people off. It was the porn stores, the dealers on the streets, and it wasn't a place you wanted to be. But that was the weird thing, is like I was okay with hanging out there. I didn't have a problem going there. But for some reason, going to a show at CBGB's just was too much for my addle-brained thought process.
Let me just acknowledge, Eleanor, thanks for the love. I see you hitting that like button. Thank you. So, Dave, if you notice, this is Dave's first TikTok live stream. If you look straight up ahead of us, you see the likes up there under my name. So that's like, as it's crossing 400,
Wow.
Eleanor has gotten on there, or whoever you see popping up at the bottom, you'll see likes your video. Someone gets
Carson
on there
Bowman.
and spams that button. I
Don
often ask someone
says,
to do it for me
yeah.
because when people will come in, they'll just drop one. But if I'm not making money when I'm out there busking, because this is what I do on this channel, is I'll say, hey man, I may not make a lot of money, but if someone could get on there and spam that button, at least I go home with a lot of love. And we might not get paid to be doing this live stream tonight, Dave, but look at that. We're crossing 600 likes already.
Nice. So at that, we said we planned that if when we cross 600 likes, you're gonna share your story of your favorite concert. We said this was a plan, right?
Ooh.
Yeah. So what's your I Was There Man story? I've got one. I'm waiting. So
Okay.
you go.
I mean, it's almost like not necessarily two different questions, and I don't know if it's one and the same. So if I go with the first thing you proposed, what's the best concert I've ever seen? I've got it hands down. It flashed into my mind. It's been the number one answer ever since I saw it. So should we go with that? Best concert?
Whatever you want.
Okay, let's do best concert.
Host right there.
The best concert I ever saw, man, and I went looking for my stack of tickets, man. I've got I used to brag that I've seen 300. I don't know how many shows it is, but the stack is about that big, man. It's a lot of shows. I spent all my money when I was working from high school and college years and 20s and into my 30s on concert tickets before. It was in my 40s before I stopped spending money on concerts. Hands down, the best was Prince in the round at the ACC here in Toronto, man. I don't know what year it was, 2004 maybe, Musicology. I saw him twice, but the one time was in the round. Maceo Parker from James Brown's band, the sax player, the famous sax player, was still alive and playing. He just I had no idea. He brought him on the show and gave him a solo in the middle of the show, man. No opening act. In the round. In the middle of the concert, he sits down with an acoustic guitar and says, here's a medley of the number ones. And so we did a section of the show, Dave, that was just the number one singles that Prince had. And there was, 9, 12, whatever it was. He had medleyed them up into an acoustic thing. And it was that moment, man, about halfway through the show when he did that I went, wait a minute. If I know every single song he's playing tonight, and these are the number ones, it reminded me of the greatness of Prince, man, who was one of the first people that I idolized, man, when I was like 12 years old when Purple Rain came out in 84. I just loved Prince. I used to get made fun of that fact by my brother, but it didn't matter to me, man. And then so to see him in 2004, after discovering them in 84, amazing. Hands down, the best show I've ever seen.
So for whatever reason, this is another dumb mistake I made. He came to where I was living, which was Victoria in the west coast of Canada. And for whatever reason, I didn't get tickets. I don't know why. But then it occurred to me, I don't have tickets and it's sold out. What am I going to do? Turns out he was doing an after-hours show at a club back when I was still drinking. So my story of Prince was he showed up to this club probably about 4 a.m. So I was like, everybody in the club was barely standing. It was everybody barely standing. It was everybody was hammered. And it was hot and there was nowhere to sit and it was uncomfortable, but Maceo Parker was there too. And he had this band.
In a club. How many people? I'm interrupting your story, man. Sorry, but you gotta put me there, man. How many people are in this club?
Maybe 1,000 people. Maybe.
And what's the style? Is there a style to it? Is it just a venue? Is it just your standard warehouse?
Yeah, it was upstairs. It was upstairs, so it was a second floor. And as you walk in, there was just like a sunken kind of area for a dance floor. It normally would have been like a DJ, right, on stage, and you dancing in the pit, kind of a thing, the dance floor. But it was a dance floor. It wasn't a pit. It was a dance floor.
And were people dancing while Prince is playing?
Well, at that point it was crowded when he came out. So my story with Prince. So I went. So I'd been drinking, so I needed to use the facilities. So I went to the washroom and I came back out. And as I came back out, the washroom was 2 steps down. And I looked down to set my foot, and I looked up, and he's right there. And I went, holy shit, it's Prince. And he looked at me and he smiled, and he kept walking as he walked on.
He heard you say it?
Oh, yeah.
I'm assuming he heard that a lot in his life.
Yeah, it was cool. He was really, you know, I mean, for what it's worth, for the little brief encounter I had with him, he was a very cool cat. Yeah. So
Jesus, dude. Brush with
my favorite. So I got a little bit of a story for mine.
Give it to me, brother, man. You know what's funny? As long as I've known you, 30 plus years now, if someone asked me what's Dave's favorite concert, I wouldn't necessarily be able to answer this. So I'm actually about to learn something right now.
Yeah, you would. So
was I there?
No, you weren't. This is way before I met you. So
okay.
This is back when I was a real punk ass kid, and one of the ways that I really got solidified into rock. So I grew up listening to AC/DC. At the time, it was, for whatever reason in my head, it was either you listen to AC/DC or you listen to Kiss. I listened to AC/DC. I don't know why. That's what I did. To this day, I stand by my decision, but whatever. And then it morphed into Iron Maiden and Judas Priest. And then these crazy guys out of San Francisco came out called Metallica. And I hadn't really heard about them until this friend of mine, Paul, told me about them. And he said, you got to check these guys out. And back then, the ironic thing is Metallica, they got no radio play. And this was pre-Much Music, pre-MTV.
I was about to say, what year? Give the context. What year are we talking? Because people don't know, Metallica made it without being on the regular path, right? So.
Yeah, this was 1984 and 85, around there. And so
no radio play, no videos,
none. So
no.
Rock radio at that time was like Bob Seger. And especially where I grew up in a place called Edmonton, which is like way north Canada over there. They were afraid of playing anything aggressive on the radio. So rock maybe would be You Shook Me All Night Long by AC/DC. That would be the hardest that they would play, and that would be like a Friday night request heavy metal show, quote unquote. Everything else would be just like, you know, saccharine rock stuff. So those of us that were into harder rock, we only learned about it from talking to each other or buying Circus Magazine, which was a metal magazine, or Kerrang, which was like the metal magazine.
I was a Rolling Stone guy myself, but yeah.
Yeah, but even then, it was, you know, like metal wasn't even hardly covered.
No, it wouldn't have even graced the pages.
No, Metallica wouldn't have even covered. Although I do have the Rolling Stone version of James Hetfield with the Black Album on the front cover. Anyway, so my friends and I were kind of on the outsides, and we were the ones that listened to Metallica and listened to Ozzy. And as an aside, this has kind of been the interesting thing about Ozzy passing away, is all these people. If you were to be parachuted from outer space like a month ago when he passed away, Ozzy, you would think that he was the most popular artist in the world. Where bullshit, everybody hated him. Everybody hated Black Sabbath. The only people that liked Black Sabbath and Ozzy were metalheads and were people that said "fuck you" to society. And that was us. That was my group, my friends. And when I met you and your friends, we connected because that's who we were.
Yeah.
Fighters. We had to find our own music. It wasn't available.
You were easy to spot. You walked into the room with a biker leather jacket. I was like, yeah, that guy.
There you go. Yeah. And so go back to this thing. So I get turned on to Metallica because this guy owed me money for whatever reason. I said, hey, you need to pay me. And he said, and my friend that I was with, Paul, said, well, why don't you take some cassettes and trade? He goes, yeah, take some cassettes. And I said, what do you got? And he listed a bunch of them, showed me. I'm like, I don't know. I guess I'll take this one. And Paul said, that one, Metallica, Ride the Lightning. Get that one. And so I grabbed that one, and I put it on my Walkman 10, and I turned it on, and Fight Fire with Fire hit, and I was like, that was it. It was over. No other band existed. I didn't give a shit about anybody else. I just wanted to listen to Metallica all the time.
Yeah.
And they were not popular. They were nowhere to be seen. They were nowhere to be heard of. And they got really popular through trading tapes, which is something that comes back later on, right? Mm-hmm. People made bootleg shows of Metallica. And so turns out a year and a half later, whatever, they released Master Puppets. And so this is like 1986. And they're on the road. They're opening for Ozzy. And they're coming to Edmonton. Holy shit. So me and my friend Brent at the time,
Killer double bill, dude.
Yeah, right. So it was like our two favorite bands.
In '86, yeah. So this is pre-Master.
This is the tour for Master Puppets.
Okay.
It's a tour for Master Puppets, and it was his tour for Ultimate
They're
Sin.
still opening. Got you.
They were opening for Ozzy, and so they're playing, and we're hearing the reviews, and we're scouring magazines, and we're hearing friends say, "Oh my God, they played a great show here, a great show there." It's like, "Oh, here they're coming, here we go," and all they had to do is go to Europe and come back. So, because the problem is that Ozzy got sick when he was supposed to play Edmonton, so he got the flu. It was like, okay, well, they said they're going to come back. Whatever, we'll see. They're both going to be around forever. We'll see them both later on because they were both relatively young groups at the time. Ozzy wasn't young, but he wasn't old either at the time. So they didn't come to Edmonton. They both promised to come back. Metallica went to Europe.
I see where this is going, dude.
And then Cliff died, got launched out of the bus, right? And so for me and my friend Brent, who was a bass player, we were devastated. They were doing Europe. I think they were headlining Europe on whatever tour they were doing.
That was the breakthrough album because they came through and played a Toronto show headlining, right? So, yeah.
So then we get the hear that Cliff died. And we were young. I was like 15 at the time, and it was, it was tough and everything. But
I remember it coming over Much Music.
I didn't know like death I didn't know like the impact. I didn't know how it would impact people. I had never experienced it in my life, really. My grandmother passed, but it was. So I couldn't imagine. I couldn't put myself. I had no empathy for these guys that were 20-something years old who lost their best friend. Looking at it now, it's like holy shit. But they decided to get back on the road and then go back on tour. And sure enough, they booked a tour date in Edmonton with Jason Newsted. So I remember thinking at the time, well, Cliff's not there, but it's still Metallica. We're going to go. We're going to have a good time. And so my friend Brent and I were the only two people that I knew of all my friends that wanted to go to Metallica. So that tells you, even of the people that I knew, we were the only two hardcore.
Yeah. Even amongst the outcasts, man, it wasn't. Yeah.
And so we they played this place called the Edmonton Convention Center. And Metal Church opened up for them. There was 2,000 people in this place. So I saw Metallica play Master Puppets in front of 2,000 people.
Wow.
And we were on the floor, but it was like the floor was the folding seats. And we were standing on the folding seats. And my friend Brent Koshiff he was a shit disturber to end all day, every day. And so he would just we were there and it was me and him and we each had this energy. We were feeding off each other. And I just remember what I remember of it, and I could be slightly off base, but is that the crowd was standing on the seats and it was like everybody was going bananas, just ape shit. So we came out of the show and we were blown away. Just couldn't believe how good it was. It was, for both of us, it was a life-changing experience. And so we come out of the show and we sit at the bus stop because neither one of us could drive. We were too young to drive. And we're smoking cigarettes and we're just like, what did we just see? We just saw Metallica in 2000. I don't know, because we had no idea how big these guys were going to get. But for us, that was it, man. That was a pinnacle. There was nobody bigger.
Yeah.
They were our guys.
They held a certain status in those years too. That I remember.
Was Ozzy, but he'd been around since the 70s. So as much as he was...
This is this new wave. They were like the new wave coming.
Yeah. So they hit when I was 14, 15. I don't get any more young and impressionable than that age. You could lock into Led Zeppelin, but they were already gone. Lock into Black Sabbath, but they'd already been popular with their teenage group, right? These were our guys. Cool. These were our guys, and they were the shit. We wanted to be them, look like them, dress like them.
I love it.
So we go to the show. So it was amazing, just me and Brent, and we just sat there at the bus, just just in silence. We didn't really know what to say. It was such a heavy moment. And then I stayed in touch with Brent. I moved away to Toronto, and over time I lost touch with him. And then I found out years later that he was killed in a motorcycle accident. So Brent's no longer with us. What is with us, and I always think of him when I see this, is my...
When you're thinking, there you go, dude. Is that your tour shirt from that show?
It's like a miniature, I don't know what the hell. And there's so there you go. So
I was there, man. That's I was there, man. In its essence, right there.
1986.
Well done.
And for you, you would have been What was it? December 9th.
Of 80 what?
6.
I would have been 14.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
Well done, Dave. Great shirt. Great story. We got some housekeeping to do here, man. Eleanor, I can't thank you enough for slamming that button. Look at that, Dave. 4,000 likes on your story, brother.
Thanks.
And she's been sending us gifts. Thank you so much, man. Eleanor, and I see your comments about Guns N' Roses. I saw you at the time, but I didn't want to stop Dave. He was going strong, so I just let him go, man. That's awesome. There you go,
So
Dave.
we can talk about so we can bring the two together, and then when you and I saw Guns N' Roses.
Here's what I was thinking, dude. Not even that. Listen, we can jump to Guns N' Roses, but here's what I was thinking. And it's something I wanted to throw at you. And so just so everyone know and the audience knows, we're prepared for most of this. We knew that we'd be coming up and doing a live stream, but for the most part, we kind of wing it to a certain point, trust our instincts, and kind of prepared some ideas and some things for this live stream. But this is our first live stream in this week, guys. I got a live stream while I'm out busking. So this is the first time we're doing this. So one thing, we prepared a couple things, but I wanted to have a couple surprises to pull out and spring. So this is something that Dave doesn't know is coming at him, but I thought this would be fun.
Lay it on me, brother.
Dave and I have been friends, as we said, since 91. We've seen a bunch of shows together. I even tried to remember and go through them in my mind, and I thought would be fun if we tried to go through them together right now, dude. How many shows do you think we've seen together over these years?
Well, the most number would be, or the most of one acting, Black Crowes, for sure. Because I've seen them 5 times, and I don't know if you and I have seen them 3 of those 5 times together.
Sounds about right.
I think that would be about right. And then the Metallica Guns N' Roses show, Roger Waters. So that's like 3, 5.
5. I'm counting, brother. You name them, and I'll count.
Pink Floyd. Remember that one, yeah? One of the best ones, one of the best shows ever, and they were both performances I saw of them were one of the best shows. Public Enemy. Went to see that one.
Yeah, we saw them together in a bar of all places.
Yeah. Amazing. I'm trying to think of any big ones that we've done. Oh, Dwight Yoakam.
Boom. That was a great night, actually.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Pete Anderson was still in the band, I believe. I believe that was Pete Anderson on guitar, man. Okay, well, that's 8, brother. You got to understand, people, we were both a little foggy at most of these shows.
Well, there was the one show that would have been the Dexters out of Toronto, that was for.
I've got a good Dexter story if you're ready to go.
That was when Alex Lifeson
File that away. I've got a Dexter story I could tell.
All right. Yeah, did we? Because you weren't like a festival guy. You weren't real comfortable with sleeping. A little bit.
Should I hop in? Should I start to hop in a little bit?
Go.
I remember you flew in one town. I had tickets to go see Weezer out in Mississauga, man. I took us, and it was the first time I ever felt old at a show.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. One of the Black Crow shows, which I guess we've already counted, was Oasis. I remember that. Man, you have nailed most of the big ones.
No. How could you forget Rage Against the Machine?
Boom. One of the best concerts I've ever seen, which I believe, we'll have to fact check this, the last show that the Gardens ever hosted. Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto.
All I remember about that show, 2 things. It was so effing cold. It was awful. It was hideous and foggy.
Frigid. And we walked from Buddy's apartment just around the corner.
And 90% of the guys, the people in that show, were fully in testosterone teenage guys with no shirts on.
Yep.
Like stank of the friggin' locker
And I
room.
remember every one to the last row, man. Fuck you, I won't do what you do. So we're at 12. I was going to throw in a great show we saw together. STP opened for the Chili Peppers.
Yeah. Where? Yeah.
At the Budweiser, at the whatever it was, Ontario Place, whatever it was called,
Yeah.
Molson Amphitheater.
That's right. Yeah. Right. I thought STP in Victoria was one of the best shows I've ever seen. They were so on.
So we hit 13 without even having much effort. You drew a blank. I nailed a couple extras.
Yeah.
And I know if we racked our brain, we could probably hit 20 if I had that stack of tickets. Because there's going to be shows that you and I went to that I don't even remember. Club shows, shit like that.
I was going to 3 because I know one of them. I don't.
We never saw AC. I was starting to think of bands. We never saw AC/DC together. Van Halen, no.
No.
We were gonna go see Lenny. I think I still owe you for those tickets, Lenny Kravitz.
Was that you?
I think I stiffed you on tickets.
Dude, I wound up taking. Yeah, that's what it was. That's so.
I think I still owe you for a ticket.
So
that's from college, man. Whatever tour that would have been when he was
living in residence, and so this was the thing. This was like how, so at the time it was 1991, 92, and grunge broke, and I remember there being this discussion around how grunge was not metal and was not influenced by metal. And I remember looking at people going, "Are you fucking kidding me? You think that Soundgarden is not influenced by Black Sabbath?" No, they're just grunge. I'm like, no. And this goes to the thing of where there's.
Listen to the riffs, man. And never mind, Kim Thale would literally tell you.
Well,
Tony Iommi is his god.
Yeah, and it's the personal ownership of the music, right? And that's why I Was There, Man is so important, because we can share these stories for people that actually do give a shit, for people that actually do care and do want to know and want to share the good times and the reason why they get so into them. But the Lenny Kravitz thing was, I lived on a floor with a bunch of animals. We partied like crazy in residence. It was an all-male smoking floor, and we listened to grunge all the time, and nobody wanted to go to Lenny Kravitz. So I wound up taking...
except for me until the last second when I did shit.
Yeah, he jammed out on me. Yeah, and so I wound up going with these 2 young women, and one, they'll both remain nameless. So one, I forget her name, but that was a good I Was There, Man story. I didn't even know, I kind of knew who she was. I could have sworn she was a lesbian, and nothing. There was nothing negative about it at all. I just thought she was a lesbian until she ran up on the stage with Lenny Kravitz and started making out with him in the middle of the show. And I'm like,
with Lenny?
She enjoys Lenny. It's like, well, that's fun,
Yeah, Lenny's like that.
It was hilarious because she was telling her friend that I was with. She's like, I'm going to go up on stage. And her friend's like, no, you're not. She goes, yeah, I am. Watch. And then before I knew it, she's running down the aisle. Jumped up on stage. That was hilarious.
Dude, just to hop back in. One thing that I realized we haven't been mentioning, the third portal in this equation, guys, is I Was There, Man. That is the podcast that Dave and I have joined forces to put out. That we ask, can you please like, share, subscribe? Head on over, click on I Was There, Man. I think if you right click or if you just tap on it, you should get an option to follow I Was There, Man. We should have been plugging that every 45 seconds this entire time. This is the point of this live stream. I'm the only one who, because of Pixel Fucked and the live streaming I've been doing over the last 4 years while I was busking, have the ability and the subscribers to host this live stream. We're trying to parlay that success into I Was There, Man, which is the joint venture between Dave and I. And that's why we're here talking about rock and roll and talking about
So Jerry, we're not only talking about rock and roll. Carson just mentioned he's only seen country artists. I asked him if he'd seen any shows. Like who, Carson? Jerry and I just talked about going to see Dwight Yoakam.
We've seen a bunch of good country shows ourselves, man. And I appreciate you for all the likes, Carson. I saw them flying in there, man. So thank you, bro.
Terrific. Thanks very much. So,
Jerry, who have you seen?
Mentioned that Stevie Ray Vaughan, that I never got a chance to see him, but you did, right?
Did we never see Stevie together, dude?
No, I never saw him, period. I never saw him, period. One of the great regrets of my life.
I've seen him at Massey more than once. Seen him at Convocation Hall, which is an amazing venue. Oh, here we go. Let's hop into Carson's answer.
Oh, no way. Carson's, well.
Carson's seen some shows.
Dude, Sturgill is like the shit.
Dave loves Sturgill Simpson, man.
And Cody
the Bellamy
James,
brothers. Yeah. Dude, we're talking 70s classics, man. 80s. Amazing.
And Cody Jinks kicks ass. He just came out on stage with Zach Wilde and with Pantera. But anyways, how was Sturgill Simpson, Carson? I've wanted to go see him. I love him.
I see your comment, Eleanor.
Eleanor, was that
Ray Charles?
Ray Charles.
Stevie Wonder? No, someone a little lower profile, I'm thinking. So yeah, we got to give Carson time to answer. So when we ask questions, it takes time to type, right? Most people are on their phones.
Yeah. Hey, Jay David, how you doing?
Come on in, guys. As we often, I should have been pumping this the whole time. There's one thing I dropped the ball on today. Like, share, and subscribe, not only to Pixel Fucked. I was there, man. Please, that's why we opened the window, guys. So that is the joint effort, an account that Dave and I are sharing. I've got it open on an iPod on the other side of the room. That's why we had a feedback loop earlier. But this allows, we don't have the ability to live stream with that account, which is why we're doing it this way and using Pixel Fucked and trying to capitalize on the audience that I have.
Well, the I Was There Man podcasts are all produced. They're give or take 3 minutes long. They're concert stories. And when I say produce, we get sound design in them as well.
Theater of the mind, kind of radio, almost radio plays, 3-minute radio plays.
Yeah, and they're available all over the place. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. There you go. Sturgill was incredible. North Carolina, wow, cool.
Cool, dude.
Where in North Carolina?
Sturgill's great, dude.
Carson, where are you in North Carolina? My uncle lived in Asheville for a number of years. Wow, we got a North Carolina guy here.
Right on, brother. No, I've seen Carson in my live streams when I was playing guitar. So.
Are you? Okay.
He's Canadian.
Canadian. All right, yeah. Yeah, well,
majority of my audience I was getting on this account, Dave, just so you know, about 75 or plus 85% was Canadian accounts, man. You go, Carson. We're figuring this out, man. This is our first joint live stream, and Dave's a live stream virgin until today. We just popped his cherry.
I'm a 54-year-old live stream virgin. There you go.
As we were calling this, the old man cast, as we were firing this up today. But no, man, this has been awesome. And this is the point. We wanted to get some feedback. And one of the things we thought about was if the audience came with stories, man. So thank you, Carson, for bringing that, brother. That's amazing. And thank you for nailing that button. He was hammering that button for us. I noticed, man. Yes. I noticed your efforts, Carson. Appreciate you, brother.
So, yeah, that's amazing. Terrific.
Thank you, Eleanor. We appreciate the praise. So Dave and I, as we mentioned off the top, and I'm sure Dave mentioned, we both met in radio school. So we came from we have a broadcasting background, both of us, right? And so it's inevitable that we ended up in this forum. Totally inevitable.
Yep, and it's lots of fun, and I'm enjoying doing it. And I've got other plans for podcasting stuff, but this is cool. I mean, I dig doing the shows. We've got. Like next week, we'll get into a recap of the shows we've done and talk about upcoming.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the plans for the show, because that's one thing we haven't kind of mentioned right there.
Yeah, because we've got about 15 minutes left, I think, here. And so we've got, so like we say, like, comment, share, subscribe, whatever you want to do with I Was There Man. And I Was There Man is across all your platforms. So it's an audio-only podcast. And to date, across everything we've released, including shorts, including full-length episodes. We've got, I think it's almost 29,000 downloads we've got.
Yep.
In a month.
Creeping up on 29,000, Dave, and 30
we ran it through ChatGPT just to see what it thought, and it appears as though we're outperforming most audio podcasts by a factor of 3 to 1 that are new. And I think that has to do with the storytellers are fabulous. I mean, the people sharing their stories, we connect to them. You know, it's compelling. We try and do our best to plant the seeds and ask the right questions. But it's when people talk about what they're passionate about, music, about concert stories, about how it affected their life. Like our first guy, Peter, talking about getting left behind in Chicago. You know, I mean, funny story, right? And because you can all relate to it. You know, we've all had that time where maybe we've had a few too many beers, or we took a wrong turn, or you know, got on the wrong bus, or whatever the case is. And it's connected to music late at night, and it's a good, funny concert story.
Yeah, and this is the point of the show, man. Is these are the things that we connect over. Dave and I connected over music. Eleanor and I have connected over music, man.
Yeah.
This is the thing, right? Like I'm out busking, man. I'm wearing a shirt from a club that literally the music of this generation changed my life. I was a child when this mattered. You know, but it had an influence, man, and it shaped who we are. This idea of I Was There Man, we're going to fully explore the origins. This episode, this live stream is going to be more about me and Dave, the origins of me and Dave. Next week's live stream is going to be more about the origins of the show. And one of the things we're going to touch on is how during COVID is when this idea kind of bubbled up with us, right, Dave? Like, I remember
you actually had the idea. To credit where it's due, this was originally your concept, and together we finessed it and carved it to where it's at right now.
There you go, man. And you guys, and the audience is helping us shape what this becomes. So we, as I said, we sort of formulated an idea of, yeah, we'll do a live stream and introduce us to the audience about when we take a mid-season break of some kind in the first season. Until 3 days ago, we just kind of winged this and put this together, and here we are.
I was just at a music festival last month, and it could have easily had a booth up, for sure. Some sort of soundproof booth, like Speaker's Corner, traveling Speaker's Corner. There's another thing that we're doing. We're actively working on it is merch. We're going to be having merch. We're going to be able to sell. So please, you know, tell your friends about I Was There Man. Our Instagram account seems to be a spot where people gravitate toward.
We're doing really good on Instagram, man. You broke down those numbers earlier. 29,000 views, 16,000 on YouTube, mostly shorts. Yep. The biggest impact, 6,000 views on Instagram, another 6,000 here on TikTok.
And that's the other place too, just for audio, because I'm a Spotify guy, is we're on Spotify, all of our episodes. And I was listening to it today, and it goes from one episode to the next. So if you just put it on and just click through the next one, you can kind of binge them. They're only 3 minutes long. And, you know, of course.
Right now, you can binge watch the first 10 episodes in under half an hour, man.
Yeah, and just like anything with Spotify, you pause it and it remembers where you paused it. Yeah. So you come back the next time and it's right there. It resumes play. Yeah, and we're going to have T-shirts, and we're going to have T-shirts with the hashtag IWTM, I Was There Man. So, you know, hashtag us. And the other thing too is if SpeakPipe is complicated or you don't want to do it, or we'd love to hear from you. So just DM Jerry through Pixelfuck, DM us through I Was There Man, DM me through my account, and we'll call you up and interview you.
We've got a bunch of ways, man. We've put links up everywhere in descriptions, on videos, on profiles, on Dave's profiles, on my profiles. I've got link trees on almost everything. Just get a hold of us if you have something to say, man. We'll find it.
We have the technology to call you, and we'd love to speak to you. So, you know, I mean, Sturgill Simpson would be a great conversation, especially in a place like Asheville, because it's the South, but it's not the South. It's this weird anomalous place where you know, people that don't know it think, oh shit, it's in North Carolina. That's crazy, Redneckville. But it's this arts enclave. It's an incredible location. So stuff like that would be really cool to hear from.
Amazing, dude.
Yeah.
Love it. Let's see where we are here. We're on 6,700 likes, thanks to Carson and Eleanor. Look at you still hammering that button, Eleanor.
Thanks, Eleanor. Appreciate it.
So, guys, we've had news stories coming in this whole time. So some we've sat on over the course of a year or two or three or four, in case of Daryl. And this idea has been percolating. And as news stories come and good ones come, they kind of push some of the other stories further down. So things are in flux, man. I've made promises to people when their show's going to get to air. I don't know. We're still in the gathering and collection phase and still chiseling away at the statue to figure out what this product's actually going to look like for you. What are we thinking, Dave? Is that good for our first live stream?
I think that's probably good. The only thing I wanted to say is, I mean, just tell people again, because when we come with the merch, it's going to be cool. We got some neat ideas. But yeah, and if you've got friends that are music fans, Tell them what I was there, man. Send them to all the different locations.
Spread the word. We
Yes.
need word of mouth. I'm stepping on Dave
Yeah.
right now. We need, this is the only thing that's really, really, really going to like, share, subscribe. It's that share.
Yeah.
Spread the word, man. If we can get this spread organically, we can force the algorithm to accept us, man.
And you can share your favorite episode because they're only 3 minutes long, right? So you can send your friend the favorite episode and just say, hey, check these guys out. And let the show speak for itself.
They can do it while they're stuck in traffic in their car.
Yeah. They're going for their coffee. Yeah, yeah.
That's it.
That's cool,
Have a
man.
coffee
We'll be
break
back
while they're
next
taking a
week.
bathroom break.
Yeah, no, man.
Dave's decision to go with the shorts, and it's worked so far, man. And they're short bursts, and like I said, you can binge listen or watch the entire first half of the first season in less than half an hour. So, guys, thank you so much for being there, Carson, Eleanor, anyone who dropped by. Thank you so much. We're gonna go check out the numbers. Look at that, 6,900 likes. That's more than I pull while I'm playing guitar, Dave.
It's because I'm here. Look at this. Look at this. Look at
Sub up.
the algorithm.
Point sideways to a sub up. I was there, man.
There you
Guys, thank you. We're going to be back
Thanks,
next
thanks,
Friday
everybody.
for another live stream. Promo to
Send us
come probably
feedback.
this week at some point.
Send us feedback.
Episode 11 coming in 2 to 3 weeks, guys. We knew we were going to take 2 to 3 weeks to do this. Probably it'll be 2 weeks and we'll be back.
It'll be 2 weeks. It'll be the week after this Friday.
There you go, brother. The boss speaks. All right, guys. Thank you. I was there, man.